Rarely do you see somebody coming in and saying, listen, guys, let's sit down and make this and work this out. Because once, to be honest with you, in certain situations, I've tried to be that guy, and with not much success, but at least I knew that I couldn't go to sleep if I just let it fall apart without me trying to be reasonable and say, listen, why don't we work this out? And of course it did not get worked out, but nevertheless, yeah, it's people like that that really make a difference. Because again, thinking of the fan, as a fan, if I grew up with certain bands and once they start changing the personnel, the band members, it wasn't the same band anymore. I wasn't into the band anymore because it was kind of like, I grew up with lifers in teams, like Mickey Mantle was a Yankee his whole life, Bobby Richardson, all these guys, Tony Kubick. It wasn't like they were with the Yankees today and then they were with Boston the next year and stuff like that. I truly believe in people who are members of a group for their entire career. And this is coming from a guy who's played with many bands. But it was never my intention to do that. It's just happened. But ideally, yeah, I would have rather been with just one band. Of course. I didn't have any aspirations of moving forward or, moving on to something else when I first started doing this. No, of course not. I've been married for over 33 years now. 31 years. So I wish I would have had the same type of music career, for life.
Same married. Five guys.
Same five guys. Or let's say somebody passes on, like it happened with Brian Jones, even though Brian Jones was out of the band, by the time, and then he passed away. But, things like that, just the same five guys, four guys, whatever, And, that was my intention.
I think about a band like Led Zeppelin, who had 9 albums. These are guys that were, they had problems. They had drug problems. The singer lost a kid. There were problems there. How many bands today do you see with 9 albums?
None. I don't know.
How many? How many fucking bands? Bad Company had a couple albums too, 7 or 8 albums.
Yeah.
You don't see bands like that no more. The Beatles had 90 fucking albums. I mean, yeah, Tony Bennett's got 60 albums, but he's by himself.
Yeah.
Every once in a while he duets with Lady Gaga or some shit. But besides that, I've always been a fan of bands and music and what comes along. Like I said, I would be that guy that just rolls joints on the fucking tour, like when the Stones did something in Jamaica or something, just to see the process. Do you write your own music, Rudy?
Yeah, I do.
And how is the process from A to the album? I mean, how does that work? It's you by yourself?
Well, it's a matter of writing the music and then convincing everybody else that that it should go on the record, which is the toughest part of them all. Yeah, because if you're not the singer is going to gravitate towards the music that they write, because it just makes sense. It's like telling a singer, sing this melody is like a singer telling me, play this bass part. You know what I mean? So you're getting into their territory. So the best thing, the second best thing you can do is to actually collaborate with the guys or the singer, because again, you're going to have vocals and you're going to have melody, vocal melodies and lyrics in the song. So if you can actually collaborate with the singer and let him come up with whatever he feels comfortable, or the message that they're going to deliver, then you're on the right track.
Is that like the hardest part, do you think? Because I know I used to be an editor on TV, and I hated, even though you can't really admit it because it's part of being professional, but I hated when I would come up with something and then a producer would come in and say, "Oh, I don't like that." So let's say you were pitching your song and they wanted to change it or they didn't like it. That feeling must be terrible. It's like the worst. I would imagine it's the worst.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you have to just leave your ego out and just what's best for the big picture, no matter how screwed up the big picture might be. You just go with, a lot of times you have to go with the flow, of the individuals, and it's tough. It's tough. It's like imagine you trying to, what you're going to be doing tomorrow night, three other guys, and you're gonna talk him to them into like, okay, this joke, that joke. You tell this other joke, and you do it this way. Can you imagine that? It's a pain in the ass.
I was watching the James Brown
Oh yeah,
documentary that's on this
brilliant.
month. Did you watch it? Mr. Dynamite with Mick Jagger when he talks
the
to
movie.
Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
No, not the movie. The one, the documentary. It's playing now on HBO.
No, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, you haven't seen it with
No,
Mick
I haven't
Jagger?
seen- no.
And they told Mick Jagger that in 1965, Mick Jagger was watching James Brown on the sidelines. They were doing a show together.
Yeah.
And I guess the Stones were headlining it.
Yeah.
James Brown wanted to kill him because he wanted a headline.
Yeah.
He couldn't understand. They're like, it's a TV show. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
But they said when James Brown went on the stage, that Mick Jagger was on the sidelines, traumatized and in shock.
Yeah.
And they showed. Did you see it?
I saw they had that scene in the
Yeah.
movie that just came out, and like James Brown's like, follow that, welcome to America.
Yeah.
He blew them off stage.
Yeah.
Oh my God! And that's when Mick Jagger says that's bullshit. He goes, as a matter of fact, it was a different audience. They came in and changed the sound.
Oh.
The band. It was bullshit. It was a complete different audience. I don't know why they said that. He goes, yes, his performance was. They showed it. If you watch the documentary, they showed the Stones, and they showed James Brown, and James Brown just took it to a different fucking level altogether. And they showed Mick Jagger putting it together, but no, he didn't.
Well, I mean, you have James Brown, who's the real deal, and then you got a bunch of white kids from England who were influenced by James Brown and all the all the blues players and all of that. So you have like second generation. So, but just like Elvis and all the other white artists they could actually relate to the white kids better than an Afro-American musician could.
Even though those African-American musicians were brilliant.
Oh, they were the best.
Brilliant.
The best. Nothing came close.
Nothing.
No. It's the real deal.
Listen, David Ruffin from the Temptations, to me, has one of the greatest voices of all time. The problem with him was drugs, too, and he was fucking crazy. Yeah. But the Temptations, and they were all from Jersey. Like, they were all, like, if you really look into it, all those labels, all those kids were from Jersey. And I heard those songs, and I forget the one, This Magic Moment, that guy's voice. I don't know who sang that.
Oh, Jay and the Americans, Jay Black. Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? That is just, are they black?
Well, the only thing black about him is his last name.
Tony Bennett, cocksucker.